All right, everybody, good afternoon. So my name is obviously Amy Sullivan. I'm your walk chair. I have been the walk chair for the Onslow County Out of the Darkness Walk for the past 4 years. And this year we did a little bit of a different spin on things. So if you've walked with us in the past, you probably know there's quite a few changes. I want to take time just a minute to say thank you so much to all of the sponsors and the vendors that have been here today to help create an event quite so large. For those of you who haven't checked online, we are over $28,000. I also want to give a quick high sign to all of my volunteers that are here today supporting our cause, making sure that you guys have plenty of crafts, plenty of food, plenty of snacks, plenty of beads, and so on and so forth. So thank you to all of you who've helped with a hand in this year. Now I see quite a few of you guys have cell phones out and you're doing a little recording, so hopefully I don't make a fool of myself. But if you are going to post to any social media, please use the hashtag Onslow OOTD 2019. We're trying to track how much gets posted to Facebook and Instagram and all that good stuff. So please use the hashtag if you post. And just for those of you who might not know what the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention is, I'll take just a moment to talk about that. AFSP is the leading nonprofit organization dedicated to research for suicide prevention and mental illness. That research, over $6.2 million in 2019 was handed out for research grants. Without that research, we would not be able to develop some of those empirical-based practices and evidence-based practices that a lot of clinicians use every day. That $6.2 million is absolutely not achievable without people like you. So give yourselves a round of applause. In 2020, we do anticipate to award even more grants than that $6.2 million. If you don't follow AFSP on social media or check out the website, you might not know that there was a campaign on Instagram with the hashtag #RealConvo to encourage people to have conversations with one another about mental health and suicide prevention. For those who've lost a loved one to suicide, AFSP can connect you worldwide with a Healing Conversations volunteer that will gladly come to you and work you through those first couple of weeks after your loss. We also offer a support group. We have one right here in Jacksonville. It runs on the second Tuesday of the month. So as though having a walk on this Saturday and then group following it is not a big deal, right? No big deal. If you've lost a loved one, come on down to the group. I also don't want to forget that we do have International Survivors of Suicide Loss Day. And that happens on the Saturday before Thanksgiving each year. And again, we will have one of those here in Jacksonville. So feel free to follow the Onslow County Out of the Darkness Walk page to check out that event. And let's see. Our main mission with AFSP is to bring hope to those who have been affected by a suicide loss. I anticipate that those of you who have looked around today can see the various bead colors that each of us are wearing. Hopefully you've all checked out that memory area and grabbed yourselves some beads. But right now, in order to show a representation of what these beads mean in your own community, I'm going to introduce Eric Bandy. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you, Amy. My name is Eric Bandy, and I'm actually the campus pastor at Port City Community Church, which is just up the road there. And just want to say how honored and privileged I am to be here today and share this moment with each and every one of you. And each of us has our own story and our own reason for being here. But as we gather here today, we remember those reasons and we share a symbol to keep them in our sights and in our hearts. Honor beads pay tribute to a loved one lost, a personal struggle, or a victory. They come in many colors and they represent the diversity of our community's connection with this cause. And it's my honor to introduce to you some of the extraordinary people who are part of our community here in Jacksonville. Today, Mary Jane Scott and Heather Holbert represent the purple bead. They are walking in honor of James. James was a charismatic 18-year-old grandson and nephew who took his life in March of 2013. James was loved by many. He was an avid hunter and fisherman. He cared deeply for those he loved, and he will always be remembered for his athletic accomplishments on the baseball and football fields. James also loved farming and was a down-home country boy. Aside from leaving the three you see here today, James left behind his parents, sister, and a large extended family. If you are also wearing a purple bead at this time, we would ask that you raise your bead high into the air. You will see many others with purple beads around you. Please say the name of your loved one at this time.
James.
Wearing the orange bead today is Megan Simpson. Megan is walking in her first OOTD walk this year for her sister, Kimberly Davids. Kimberly was 25 years old when she died by suicide in 2018. Kimberly left behind a daughter. She's 7 years old. Kimberly's daughter was her world. She also left her father, 4 sisters, and a brother. Kimberly was fearless. She had a smile and a personality to make anyone adore her. Megan says she most misses Kimberly's 3 a.m. FaceTime calls. Kimberly never knew a stranger. She would talk to anyone, anywhere. Her laugh was contagious, and she could light up the room when she walked in. If you are also wearing an orange bead, please raise the bead in the air. At this time, please say your loved one's name. Samantha Elliott is representing the silver honor bead today. Samantha is here in honor of all military and first responders that have struggled with mental illness, but specifically Christopher Hirsch and Dennis Jester Jr., who both served in the United States Marine Corps. In July 2016, Samantha's childhood friend, Christopher J. Hirsch, died by suicide. He was 26 years old. He was one of the kindest souls you could meet and amazing with all children, especially his girls. He left behind his mother, father, brother, sister, wife, and 2 daughters. In February 2017, Dennis B. Jester Jr., 27 years old, died by suicide. Samantha describes Dennis as her kindred spirit, brought to the world. Dennis had a brilliant mind and was the most genuine human being Sam has ever known. He left behind his mother, father, brother, and wife. If you are also wearing a silver bead, please raise it in the air, and at this time, state your loved one's name. Wearing the gold bead today is Kelly Avery. Kelly's father, Orvin Everett Jr., passed away in 1994. Orvin was 40 years old when he passed away. He left behind a wife and 3 children. At the time of his suicide, his kids were 15, 11, and 9. They are now 40, 36, and 35, and stand behind Kelly representing the gold bead. Kelly will always remember her daddy's voice and laugh, and he was deeply loved. Kelly says Orvin loved and took care of his family with pride. Kelly knows her father had a boundless passion for his family and God. If you are wearing an orange bead today, raise it in the air, and please state the name of your parent. Tabitha and Brian LaPointe are wearing the white bead today, standing before you. Tabitha and Brian lost their son, Hugh LaPointe, in 2016. Hugh was just 23 years old at the time of his suicide. Hugh left behind his daughter, Aurora. She is 4 this year. He left his mom and dad, sisters, brothers, and friends. Hugh always wanted to help others. In high school, he was nicknamed Dr. Hugh. Tabitha and Brian say he was their best friend. He was loving, caring, and always there for others. His smile was contagious, and he loved with his whole heart. In honor of those who have lost a child, if you are wearing the white beads, please hold them high in the air and say your child's name. Michelle Myers stands in front of you today wearing the red bead. Michelle lost her significant other, Ryan Hasladalan. Ryan was 32 years old when he passed in February of 2019. Ryan left behind Michelle, his beautiful daughter Kenzie, and Michelle's 2 boys who considered him a father. Ryan had the most contagious laugh and smile. He loved telling jokes and making people laugh. He served his country as a Navy corpsman for 8 years. Ryan was passionate about working in healthcare, fishing, and being an amazing father. Ryan will be forever missed and loved. If you wear a red bead today, raise it high in the air and say your loved one's name. Today, the individual representing our green bead was not able to attend, but it represents all of those who struggle with mental illness. If you wear a green bead today, hold it high in the air and proclaim that you are stronger than your mental illness leads you to believe. Wearing the blue bead today is Peggy Fair, a licensed clinical social worker on base at Camp Lejeune. Peggy has experienced suicide both personally and professionally. In her personal life, Peggy has had several friends' children who died by suicide. Peggy thinks of them and their families regularly. She works with active duty service members every day as a mental health therapist and social worker. In her work life over the last 4 years, Peggy experienced suicide loss of 2 service members. Peggy wears blue in support of suicide awareness and prevention so that this public health crisis will diminish. Peggy would like to add, while the demons of mental illness are often stronger than your coping skills, you are enough and you matter. If you are wearing blue beads in support of the cause, which should be everyone, please raise your beads high in the air and view the support you see around you. I am your last bead today. My name is Eric Bandy, and today I wear teal in honor of us with family members or friends that struggle with mental illness. I'm not wearing these beads just for one person, but rather for my friends and family in the military, as well as my church and personal family, who may be fighting a battle every day. Our community can help by creating safe spaces for anyone struggling with mental illness, as well as places for their families to discuss and be honest about these struggles. Wouldn't it be wonderful to see a community full of support groups and places free from stigma? We can create a stronger community by having these open and honest conversations and letting others know that they aren't alone. I would love to see a stronger military community where people have options to talk and get help, rather than feeling like something like suicide is the only measure they have to escape and find freedom. If you are wearing teal with me today, please raise your beads and say the name of the loved one who is struggling. These beads, these courageous people, they represent our dedication, our commitment, and our strength as a community. We are united in our goal and determined to bring suicide prevention out of the darkness and save lives.